Level 34. This row has one wall. It has to be between the two water drops, which means it can't be here or here. That connects these bombs and bunnies, which means there has to be walls here and here. Also means this bomb needs one more target, which has to be here, which means there has to be a wall here. Now this column is gray. This bomb needs two targets, which has to be these two. There has to be a wall here, one of these two. This bomb needs two targets, which have to be these. And then the final bomb is connected to the final bunny there. There has to be a wall here. There's one wall in this row. If that wall is here, or if that wall is here, then you will have a connection here and here. So it can't be here. That much we know. And this column has one more wall because it has two already. If that wall is in any of these places, these three, will be a connection here, which can't be. So the wall has to be either here or here, and not here. And similarly, in this column, there can't be a wall here, because it has to be between this bomb and this bunny. This column has one more space, which has to be a wall, which grays at this column. And then we have to have separation here, graying out this column and this. And now this row, we can fill in the rest with walls, leaving this column gray and this one. And now this row must have 5 walls, which have to go here. This column must have 8 walls. Now these are gray. This column needs 6 walls. Now this is an empty space, which it can't be since there are no water drops. So we must fill it in. Level 35. You can fill in rows and columns as indicated. Now these bombs have to be blocked off. Now there has to be a path from the water drop to these, to these, to these, and to these. If any of these are empty, then the rest must be walls, which means you have a blockage. So any of these must be empty. So these must be filled in. And in this column, one of these must not be a wall. I don't know which one, but that means these cannot be walls. That grays out this row here. And we can fill in the rest of this column. Now the water drop needs a path down here, at least. That means the final space on the column is a wall. Graying out this row, which means we can fill out the rest of this column. This row needs one more wall, which has to be here. This row is grayed out. This row needs 2 more walls, which have to be here. That grays out this column. And then we see the final row and column need to have one wall. Level 36. So these two have to be separated, which means that we can either have a wall of like this, or like this, or like this. Since there's only one wall in each of these columns, so these can't be walls. And these can't be walls. That also means this bunny can't be hit by this bomb, which then needs to hit these two bombs. Also, this means we can fill out the rest of this column with walls. Now this means this bomb cannot hit this bunny, so there must be a wall here, and it must in fact hit this bunny. That means the only two possible targets for this bomb are these bunnies. That means we need to block them off from this bomb, like so. Now this water drop is connected to this bunny, which means it has to be separated from this water drop, so there must be walls here. Also, this water drop needs a path either to this bomb or to this bunny. So there must be a free space here. And that means we can fill out the bottom row with walls. And by the same token, it needs a path up here. And now we can fill out this row. And the same with this row. And now we see that these have to be connected. Also, this column is grayed out. So since this bomb hits this bunny, then this one has to hit this. And now also we see that this water drop needs to connect with these, since there has to be one water drop and at least one enemy in each zone. Also, this column needs two more walls, which have to be here. Now, this water drop can't connect on the left side to these, because that would mean connecting to this water drop. That means it must connect on the right side. And since this must be empty, this must be a wall to separate it from this zone. So we move forward. Similarly, there has to be a wall here and here. And now they are connected. And now this column needs 3 more walls, which then have to be here. Now this row is grayed out. And since this water drop is connected here, we have to have separation here. That leaves one space in this column, which has to be a wall. This column is grayed out. This needs to be a wall to separate these. This row is grayed out, so this is an empty space. That means the final wall in this row has to be here. And that grays out the row, so this is empty space. Now there needs to be 7 walls in this column, which means the rest have to be walls. That grays out this row. And now we need separation between zones here. And we see this column needs 1 more wall, which has to be here. And this row needs 1 more wall, which then has to be here. There's 1 more space, but since this column is gray, that means it has to be empty. Level 37. This row only has one wall. It has to be between the bomb and the water drop, so it can't be here or here. This column has 6 walls, which means that this bomb cannot hit either of these bunnies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there must be walls. That means the only bunny it can hit is this one, so it has to. That means this one has to be blocked off from this bomb and this bomb. And now this bunny can only be hit by this bomb, so it has to. Now this bomb, the only other bunny it can hit is this one. That means this bomb has to hit this bunny. And the 4 walls on this row must be here. So that means this bunny has to be hit by this bomb. 4 walls on this row must be here. That means this bomb hits this bunny and this bomb this bunny. 6 walls on this row must be here. 6 walls on this row must be here. Now all the bombs and bunnies have to be in the same zone as this water drop. So this can't be a wall. This bomb needs to be blocked from this bunny. And there needs to be a path here and here. That means we can fill in this row, this column, with walls, and this row here. Still, there needs to be a path to either side. That means we can fill in this column, and there needs to be a path here, so we can fill in this column. Now this row is grayed out. In this column, there's one more free space, empty space, and it must be either here or here, which means these two have to be walls. This has to be an empty space, and that lets us fill out this column. That grays out these rows. And there's one more wall on this row, which is either here or here, which blocks off this from the water drop. This means there has to be a free path here. And therefore, the 2 walls left on this row have to be here. Now there's one more wall to place in this column, which must be here, graying out this row. And there are 2 walls left to place, which must be here. Level 38. You can easily see what bombs have to be connected to what bunnies. Now there's 1 wall on this row, 2 walls on this row. Since there are 3 clusters of enemies and bombs and 3 water drops, they have to be separated from each other. We don't know what water drops they belong to, but we know they have to be separated. The only way to achieve this in these 2 rows with 1 wall here and 2 walls here is to place them like this. Any other way, and there would be a connection between the bunnies. That grays out this row and this column. There's 1 wall on this row which has to be either here or here, because this water drop can't be connected on both sides, only one of them. That means the rest of these spaces are empty. And this row is grayed out. And that lets us fill in these 2 columns with walls. This water drop needs to have a path to the left, and that lets us fill out this column. Furthermore, it needs path here, which means these are connected. And that tells us that this can't be connected here, so it has to be connected here. Which means this water drop has to be separated from these. That grays out this row. That lets us fill in this column. And this column is grayed out. So is this row. Now we need separation here. And that grays out this row. And we need separation here, here, and here. Which means this row is grayed out. And this column is also grayed out. Now there has to be separation here and here. And also we can just see we have to fill in this column with walls. Now this row is grayed out. And this row can be filled in with walls. Graying out this column, which means there are 2 walls left, which have to be here. Level 39. So these bombs have their bunnies. So there needs to be walls in here and in here, which means there can't be walls here. That means these are connected. You see these bombs have to hit these bunnies. And that means this bunny has to be hit by this bomb, this bunny by this bomb, and finally this bunny by this bomb. There has to be a wall in here, which means it can't be here. Same here. There has to be a wall here, so it can't be here. There can't be a wall here, and there can't be one here. Now the walls in these columns have to be here and here. Now we can fill out the columns on the ends with walls. Now this bomb has to be separated from these bunnies, like so. Grays out this column. This bomb has to be separated from this bunny, like so, graying out this column. And similarly, we need a wall here, graying out this column. Now we need a wall to separate these bombs, graying out this column. And we need a wall here, graying out this column, leaving one final column, which has one wall, and it needs to separate these 2 and these 2, so it has to be right here. And the rest of the spaces are empty. Level 40. So these bombs need to hit 7. There are 4 in the edge rows and columns. You have to hit at least 3 on either side of them. We don't know yet which corner they will hit. So now these bunnies have to be hit by these bombs. Now since these must be in one zone and these must be in another, there must be some wall here somewhere, and there's only one wall in each of these columns. So that has to be, this wall has to be somewhere here, and this wall somewhere here. Can't be, yeah, I think it has to be here. If there's a wall here and here, then these are open spaces. If there's a wall here and here, these are open spaces. But with a wall here and here, we can have a block. That also means that this bomb will hit this bunny, and there has to be a wall here. That means this boss will have to hit this bunny. And there has to be separation here. Similarly as over here, there has to be a wall here. And now these are grayed out. Now this column is grayed out. There has to be separation here. This column is grayed out. There has to be separation here. And we see this bomb has to hit this bomb this. There has to be separation here. Now these columns, these rows I mean, are grayed out. And these columns need to have two walls, which must be here. That grays out these rows, and so the remaining spaces must be empty.